Yes. My voice and screen is clear. Are you able to see me? I mean, are you able to see my screen? Okay then. So let it get it started. So cursors in Java collections. Okay. So I have already given you the theory. So we can just do a small recap. So there are cursors or iterators. Okay. You can see the cursors or iterators. Both are same. Don't create any confusion. Cursors, you can also call it as what? Iterators. Okay. So they are part of Java collections, right? So why they are actually used? They are used to retrieve the objects individually. Okay, so this line this line is going to make more sense if I take a small piece of program. For example, when I take the vector class and the generic type is going to be string, right? So if I want to create an object for the vector class, so this is how the object creation will be done, right? After the object creation, I want to add three names. Okay, so first name, let us take it as AAA for the simplicity, right? And the second name is going to be what? ABBB. And the third name is CCC, right? The focus here, if you understand this very well, then understanding the iterators and we have a concept of ListIterator that is going to be very easy. It will not take much time. Okay. So when I do system.out.println, if I want to do this, okay, if I try to print the reference variable name, if I run this code, so all the object information is getting printed in the square braces. At a time, I'm able to, like, this particular reference variable, okay, if it is used in system.out.println statement, it is throwing at a time. It is throwing all the values or all the objects at that time in the console. Okay, but I want to do some manipulation on individual objects. What kind of manipulation I want to do? So this is AAA. I want to convert it to lowercase letter. Okay. If I want to do that, I want to retrieve this individually. Okay, so this is not happening. If I use names, all the values are getting printed at the time. But I want to catch one value. I want to do what? I want to catch one value, or I want to catch one object, and I need to do some manipulations. Manipulations can be anything. Okay, string manipulations, or else I can do what? I can convert into lowercase letters, right? I can convert all these three string literals. I mean, all these three characters as one character. I can do a lot of things by using this, or else I want to concatenate some other value with this string. If I want to do such manipulations, I cannot depend upon this. I need to catch that, then I can do manipulations. What I need to do? I need to catch separately, then I can do manipulation. In order to catch separately, we should be doing what? We should be using the cursors. As simple as that. Or we should be using what? Iterators. See, one more example let me introduce. So I will clear our confusion. So this part is what? The collection framework, isn't it? So we know this already. So we are when I say vector is a class which is part of collection framework. It is used to overcome the disadvantages of Java arrays. Disadvantages of what? Java arrays. So what is one such disadvantage? Okay, if I want to store all these three values by using Java array, how can I supposed to do that? How is it possible for me to do that by using the Java array? Okay, so what kind of type is this? This is a generic type. So I need to take a data type string, and it should be a array type. Then I can use something like names1 equal to new string, right? And after this, what I'm supposed to do? Declaring size is a mandatory thing in Java array. Yes or no? You need to declare this size at the time of creating the object itself. So how many values I want to store? I want to store 3 values. Good, right? After doing this, if I want to store a value like AAA, I cannot use this add method, because this add method is completely relevant to the collection framework. These are the methods that has been created only for collection framework. Okay, these are the inbuilt methods that is applicable only for collection framework. So we don't have any such method, we don't have any add methods. So we are dependent upon what? Index numbers, yes or no? So what we do, there is an index 0, I mean names one, variable name followed by the index number. Then in this index number, I want to store what? I want to store AAA. Likewise, okay, there are two other index numbers. What are the two other index numbers? We have index 1 and we have index 2. Because the size is 3, so index start from 0, 1, 2. So I can store the values, or I can store the object like this, right? So if I do system.out.println, if I try to print names 1, okay, see here we get a different output. When I print this, when I print the reference variable of an array, the array is going to print the toString method. Okay, it is going to call toString method. So literally we are not going to see these values, because you know it is calling the toString method of object class. You know what is a toString method, and we know what is an object class. So when you call the reference variable of an array, literally it will call toString method of which class? Of object class, right? And again over here it will call toString method of what class? Of collection class, and of vector class. Sorry, of vector class, because toString method is overridden here. toString method is overridden in such a way that it is going to print all the values or all the objects of the reference variable of vector class, right? So this is why when you try to print the reference variable of an array, you see the output as follows. So this is how the output looks like. But when you do the same thing with the vector, or in any one of the collection classes, you see this as an output. There is a lot of difference, because these are the inbuilt methods. Okay, inbuilt, I mean internally there was a design, there is a design already that it is going to call toString method, not the toString method of object class. It is going to call toString method of the vector class. Okay, the logic is written in such a way that it is going to display all the values. Okay, so far these things are so good, right? So far these things are so good, but I want to capture each and every object. I do not want to print all these at the once. Okay, if I want to do that, what I can do, I need to use what? I need to use enumeration. Okay, so there are three types of cursors in Java. Okay, see, look at this theory. These are the cursors or iterators in the Java collections, which is used to retrieve the objects individually. Again, the question is, how many types of cursors are there, or how many types of cursors are there? We have enumeration, we have iterator, we have ListIterator. So we need to discuss about enumeration. So enumeration, so I can give the straightforward definition. Okay, it says it is an interface. Okay, enumeration is what? It is an interface which is going to provide, which provides methods to enumerate elements in the collections. Okay, what does this really mean? What does this really mean? For example, let me take enumeration is nothing but iteration. When I say iteration, for example, so I have three objects here, guys. Okay, let me take this to the paint screen. Where is the paint screen? Let me open this. Right. So this is our logic. This is our business logic, right? Very simple, very much recognizable. Okay, there is a class called vector, right? So the moment you do this, right, the same moment behind the scenes, okay, a set of vector, I mean the collection of contiguous memory of size 10 will get allocated, isn't it? We have discussed these things already, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. Okay. So how many elements are added? Okay, elements gets added accordingly. A, B, C. Okay. So the moment you do what? Okay. So what does the theory says? It is an interface that not this one. Yeah. That has methods to enumerate elements in the collection. Enumerate is nothing but when you activate a cursor, okay, when you start driving this cursor, driving this cursor over the collection elements, right? So when you activate the cursor, okay, activation means when you start the cursor, okay, which is meant to iterate over the collection element. Okay, you start driving this cursor over the collection element. Okay, this is called as what? Enumeration. It is just like, keeping the cursor activated so that this cursor can be moved in the forward direction. Right? This will be moving in this direction. This is called as what? Enumeration. As simple as that. Enumerate. It is a noun, and here it is a verb. Enumerate. Okay. So again, there are four classical points I have given. So it was introduced in JDK 1.0 version. Okay, it is a legacy cursor. When I say legacy cursor, any Java library or any classes, okay, which was part of JDK first version or JDK 1.2 version, they always come under the legacy category. They always come under what? They always come under the legacy category. Since enumeration is also part of JDK 1.0, you can call this as a cursor. What kind of cursor is this? Legacy cursor. If it were introduced in JDK 2.0, you cannot call this as legacy, because all the legacy things are part of the first version, right? So this is a legacy cursor, and it is applicable only for the legacy collections. Okay, so what are the legacy collection? Okay, vector and hash table is the legacy collection classes. So literally you can use this only with vector, because HashTable is not part of list interface. So literally you can use only with vector classes, right? And so enumeration is interface. So this is an additional point, okay? And you cannot instantiate the interface, right? And what are the legacy classes? So vector class is a legacy class. Stack is also a legacy class, but I don't think we can apply this for stack. And we have HashTable. We'll check whether we can apply this for stack also. Okay, first we will go with vector example. Okay, steps to achieve enumeration. Okay, so this is the where. Okay, so create an enumeration reference with methods of legacy classes. This line, guys, observe this line. So let me go to the program. Okay, so let me remove all this. Okay, so I have the vector class. An object has been created for vector class. Creation for vector class, which is a generic type. So when I say generic type, you introduce the data type here, which means this type becomes homogeneous. Only the homogeneous elements of, or I can say that the same type of elements can be added. So this is defining the type. So you can add only string elements. So if you do integer, okay, you are specifying that the elements that you are going to add should be integer, or else you will get error. So since we are dealing with string, let me keep it as string. Okay, instead of A, B, B, C, so let me take the same example. Element dot add, and the last one is DDD. Right? After this, I want to create enumeration of string type. Okay, and the reference variable I'm going to keep it as C. Okay, so this part is an interface. Okay, enumeration is an interface. So when this is an interface, you cannot do this. You cannot do new enumeration, because you cannot create object for the interface. You can create object only for the classes. We have studied this already. It's giving us an error. So what can I do? I can make use of the overridden methods. What is the one of the overridden methods? Okay, by using this reference variable name, it names dot, I'm using elements. Okay, so because of this line, what is exactly happening behind the scenes, we will understand that. We'll come back to this. This is just a cursor, guys. In your mind, you should imagine that this is just a kind of cursor. Okay, you are activating a cursor. Okay, these are the internal things. So you can imagine these things the way I am representing now. Okay, the way I am demonstrating now. Okay, this is our actual program. Right. So and line by line we will come. Okay, this is the first line. Okay, let us assume that an object has been created. Right, how many elements are added? AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD. Right, so AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD. Right, 4 objects are added or 4 elements are added. Right, and this is what this is representing. What names? Okay, so this element, these 4 lines of code is nothing but these 4 elements. 4 elements are added successfully. So now we have to look into this code. Okay, you started applying the enumeration. When you say enumeration, literally what will happen behind the scenes is, okay, just imagine like a copy gets created. Okay, a copy kind of thing is going to get created, and okay, okay, so and a cursor is going to get created, and this cursor will be pointing just before the first element. Okay, it is not exactly pointing towards the first element, it points just before the first element. Try to understand this. Okay, this line is doing this. Okay, names dot elements, all the elements will be stacked inside an object, right? So you are using an enumeration, right? And you are defining a variable name, what? E, right? So it means you are activating a cursor which is of the named with what? E. You can give any name, I am just giving it. You can call this cursor as what? E. Cursor is now what? E. Let me move this a little bit right. Yes. So this is cursor is what? E. It will point here. It will not point exactly towards here, it will point here. Okay, now see the manipulations. So we have 2 methods. We have 2 important methods in the enumeration. So when I say enumeration is coming along with what? 2 methods. Okay, the first method is named as more elements method. Okay, and the second method is named as next element method. These are the names of the methods. Okay, don't think these are just the names of the methods. This is such a meaningful name. Okay, by looking at this you can understand. So when the method name is as more elements, name itself as more elements, the method name itself has more elements. Okay, this method is going to do what? This method is going to identify, right, on top of, with respect to the cursor. Okay, it is going to identify, is there any elements, is the object has more elements or not, is the object has any elements or not. Okay, the cursor is pointing towards here. Okay, the cursor is going to look, the cursor is literally going to look what? Literally going to look inside, and it has identified, okay, there are How many elements are there? Okay, there are 4 elements already. 1, 2, right? 3 and 4. Okay, the duty of this particular method is going to find is there any elements or not by using what? As more elements. Okay, as more elements is a method. It is going to answer. Okay, you can talk to it. Okay, you can give instruction to it, but it is going to return you the answer in the form of Boolean expression. Okay, whatever you ask, okay, you are going to ask only one question: is there any more elements in the object? It's going to say true, or it is going to say false. It is going to give answer in 2 ways. Okay, how can I prove that? Let me take this example. This system.out.println. Okay, I want to activate the cursor E by using the cursor as more elements. Okay, now where the cursor is pointing to, when you go and see, okay, the cursor is already here, isn't it? The cursor is here. It has identified more elements. It will return what? It will return true. If you run this code, you will get the output true in the console. Right? So one more method is there. One more method is what? E dot. So what was the second method that I was discussing? Next element. Okay. Next element. The duty of this next element method, the job of the next element method is to do what? Is to print the immediate element, or is to return the immediate element. It will return what is the next immediate element. It will return the next immediate element and move the cursor to the next location. What does it really mean? Okay, let me optimize this, or let us analyze this further. Okay, so I have used this on top. I have given an instruction on top of the cursor here, right? So now, okay, so this cursor will be moved to the next line. I mean, it will not exactly point to the element. Okay, instead it will point to the next line. Okay, this cursor will be moved. Okay, who is actually moving this cursor? This cursor is getting moved from this location to this location. Okay, at the time of movement, it will extract what? It will extract A. It will do what? It will extract A. Okay, at the time of moving, it will extract A. So it is doing 2 things. Cursor is getting moved from this location to this location. At the time of when these things are happening, okay, it is going to return A. So A should be displayed in the console, isn't it? Right? So is it so? Let me run this. So true, we got A. Okay, I can repeat this second time. Okay, this is first time. Okay, I want to repeat the same question second time. Okay. When I do this for the first time, the position for the cursor has been changed, right? The position of the cursor has been changed. Okay, previously the cursor was here. Now the cursor has become here. Okay, now you are asking again. Now you are asking what? E dot as more elements. Okay, so the cursor will listen to you. Since you are asking it, the cursor will listen to you, and the cursor will check is there any more element inside this particular thing. Okay, it will say true because it has identified B, right? So it has identified, so it is going to return true, right? So this is going to return what? This is going to return true. And so again you are saying, you are calling next element method. The duty of next element method as is going to do what? It is going to do 2 things. What is the first thing? First thing is what? The cursor will be moved from this location to the next location at the time of this movement. At the time of this movement, okay, the value, the element will be returned to it. This element will be returned to it, right? So we have what previously we had true. First answer is true, and this got printed on the console. And again, second answer is true. This got printed on the console. So that should be true AAA, true BBB, isn't it? Right? Are you getting this? Okay. So let me repeat this for the third time. We will repeat this until the last element is getting printed. So this is third time. Okay. Third time again we are shouting at the cursor. What is? Hey, is there any more elements? And next element, right? So it is going to listen to your concern. It is going to find, is there any more elements? Yes, there is one element, which is what? CCC, right? It is going to return true, right? Going to return what? It is going to return true, right? After this what? After this next element. So next element is going to do what? Cursor will move to this location, and okay, and the CCC will be extracted. The value CCC will be what? It is extracted because of what? Because of the next element method. Right? Now go back to the program. Okay, fourth time. Right? Fourth time. So again calling the as more elements and the next elements on top of cursor E. Right? Go back to this code. So what it is going to do, first thing it is going to find, is there any more element? Yes, there is DDD. Right? It is going to return true. After this, it is going to move from this position to this position. Right? So at the time of moving, it is going to extract the value. What? DDD will be extracted and be given to the console. Enter. Right? So true. Let us repeat for the fifth time. Fifth time. So is there any as more elements? Making sense, this question is valid. Okay. So what it is going to check? Okay, is there any as more elements? No, there are no such elements. Right? No such elements. Okay. Well, let us keep an imaginary line here. Okay, there are no such elements because the last elements what it is? No such elements. So it should return what? False. Isn't it? Okay. So it has written false. And after returning false, what is happening? I'm trying to, okay, if I let me remove this. So far good, it has written false. And if I try to use this next element method, only if there is next element method is going to print. Is there any next element? Is there any next elements present when the cursor is pointing here? There are no next element, right? This is empty, isn't it? This is empty. Nothing is there. Right? You can call this, you can call e dot next, e dot as more elements. The duty of this to check is there any other elements or not. Okay, there are no elements. This part is empty. On the empty space, when you try to give instruction like try to extract the next element method. Okay, you are saying that there is nothing there, but you want to extract something. Right? When you do that, you will get what? You will get an exception. What kind of exception you will get? No such element exception, because you are calling next element method on an empty object. So that's why it has written false, right? And you get this exception. So you should stop here. If you observe this pattern, if you focus this pattern, if you focus, just keep focusing this pattern. Okay, so you are doing what? You are doing this, you are repeating the same thing. Same code is getting repeated for the first time, for the second time, for the third time, for the fourth time, and for the fifth time. So when something is getting repeated, right, what you can do? You can put that either in the for loop or in the while loop. Okay, you can place a condition in while loop as long as the condition is true. As long as, okay. So e dot has more elements. Okay, so this part is going to return either true or false. Obviously it will return what? It will return two things, either it will return true or it will return false. Yes or no? Right, so we are giving an instance such a way that only if it is true, only if this is returning true. Okay, in how many ways it is going to return, in how many approaches it is going to return true. Okay, first time it is going to return true, second time it is going to return true, and here also it is going to return true, here also it is going to return true, but here it is going to tell false. Right, so only for the true cases. Okay, this is the true case, so it is not written here, ignore that. This is the true case, so this is the true case, so this is the true case, this is the false case. Only for these true cases you extract the element. So what you do to extract the element? System dot out dot println. Okay, I am saying e dot next element. Okay, you are avoiding the exception. You can include any number of values, and you are putting a condition, while condition. This while condition is going to execute this piece of code. Execute this piece of code only when this part is returning true. Yes or no? Right? For the false condition, this loop will never get executed. So you can avoid what? No such element exception. Right? Can we optimize this? Now see. Instead of writing these many number of lines, so I can simplify this by using a while loop. Okay, e dot has more elements. Okay, and inside this I am doing what? I am doing e dot next element. Right? So all the values a, b, c, d, and is getting printed. Why true is not getting printed here? Because we are not printing this. We are not using this in the system dot out dot println statement. Okay, even if you want to print this, you are supposed to use that in the system dot out dot println statement. That is not required. It has to execute. I mean, this piece of code needs to get executed only if this is returning true. Only if there are next elements. Right, now code has become concise. Okay, instead of doing this, I can catch each and every element. If I remove system dot out dot println, I remove this one. Okay, this is going to return me a string. I can catch that string. String dot equal to, I can do this, and okay, again I can use system dot out dot println. I can use dot. Okay, see A, B, C, P. Right, what this piece of code is doing, that could be a doubt now. This piece of code is doing nothing. It is catching the variable. I mean, it is catching the object by using the variable, and then you are printing that variable. Okay, there is a variable called caught variable. Okay, the name of this variable is what? Caught. Okay, for the first iteration, e dot next element is going to return what? A will be stored, and you are printing this, and you are printing this. Okay, in the second iteration, instead of a b will be stored. Okay, and you are printing this by using system dot out dot println. In the third iteration, CCC will be stored. Okay, the fourth iteration, DDD will be stored. Right? So you are catching that in a separate variable memory, and you are printing that. That's it. So this is such a kind of simplification. Okay, now we have that variable in the code. Okay, I can perform any kind of manipulations here. What kind of manipulations I can do? Okay, I can do, all the elements are the caps letter. I can do what? These are the methods. To convert it to lowercase, I can do this. If you have an option to let people in, you can do this. See, I am catching this in the variable, this variable, right? I'm catching this in the variable e. Okay, I want to convert that to lowercase. So now all the variables has become lower. Okay, and I can also do like this. I can do what? I can do, so I want to catch one particular variable. I want to catch what? I want to catch one particular variable like a, right? And I want to convert this to what? Lowercase. I want to do what? I want to convert this to lowercase. Okay, I can do that. So how it is getting possible? How I am able to do this? By using this as more elements, by creating the enumeration, by just by creating the cursor. Right? If I don't have this enumeration, okay, I cannot get hold of each and every object. Okay, I want to manipulate one of the objects. There are list of objects. I want to perform manipulations on DDD. Okay, so what manipulation I want to perform? First, I need to catch. I need to check if the variable that was caught is equal to DDD. If it is equal to DDD, I need to convert that. I need to perform a manipulation. What kind of manipulation that I need to perform? I need to convert that to the lowercase. Is it happening? Yes, it is happening. Literally, I am able to what? I am able to perform a kind of what? Perform a kind of manipulation by catching that variable. Are you getting this, everyone? Yes, no? Okay, the purpose of enumeration is to catch hold of one variable, right? And after catching hold of one variable, you need to do what? You need to perform the manipulation, right? Literally, if you try to print this just by using system.out.println statement, everything is getting thrown in the console. Okay, I want to work only on this. I want to manipulate this. I want to manipulate this. I want to manipulate this. Or I want to add something. For example, I want to add something like system.out.println code dot okay, I want to do this. So now see what is happening. I will get hold of each and every variable. I am using a concat method. Don't worry about this method. For now, concat method is what? It is going to concat the given string with the respective strings. Okay, you have AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD. Okay, you are using a concat method and you are concating this ZZZ. Now all the values has become AAA, ZZZ, BBB, ZZZ, CCC, ZZZ, DDD, ZZZ. When you want to perform this kind of operation for all the values, first you need to catch one first value. First you need to catch each and every value. First value will be caught here, second value will be caught, third value will be caught, fourth value will be called. And first value has got concatenated. Okay, AA is the first value. It has got concatenated with ZZZ. Second value is what? BBB and got concatenation. Second is what? CCC and got concatenated. And third one is what? DDD and it has got what? Concatenated with ZZZ. Right? So when you are giving an interview, when you are performing or what you call this, when you are attending an interview, so literally they are going to assert what is an enumeration, right? For that you can answer, you can use this classical points, these 4 points, and also drawbacks. Okay, you can also, they will be also asking you what kind of methods, I mean what are the methods that are there in the enumeration concept. Okay, you need to say that as more elements method and the next element method. We already got to know the purpose of as more element methods and the next element method. Okay, so what are the drawbacks? So drawbacks are like it is applicable only for legacy classes. Okay, it allows only read operations, not the insert operation or remove operation or replace operation. Right, you are able to read that element. Okay, by reading an element you are able to caught that element, catch that element. So and you are able to do some kind of operations. Okay, so is this operation is affecting the original classes? We want to see that. Okay, the operation that we have just done, is it affecting the original collection list? Is it really affecting? Okay, the original collections remains the same. Again, after this kind of manipulation, if you try to print the original collection, it is going to remain same. Okay, it is just like this, guys. Okay, see, let me take this in the much appropriate way. new console. So this is our these are the elements. Okay, this is our code. Okay, what are the first four values? We have what? AAA, BBB, CCC, DDD. CCC, DDD. Okay, this is our vector object. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By default, the size is 10. So that's why I've taken 10 contiguous spaces. Okay, enumeration is doing what? It is creating a cursor. Okay, it is creating a cursor, and you are trying to do what? You are trying to do the iteration. Okay, firstly, if you go and see the loop, okay, and the cursor is identifying is there any elements. Okay, this kind of look at see you are placing a variable called, you are creating a temporary variable called cot. What is the name of the temporary variable? Cot. Right, during the iteration, okay, during the iteration you are collecting this variable, you are literally collecting this variable and you are placing it here. Okay, after placing it here, you are doing what? You are doing the manipulation. From where you are doing the manipulation? Okay, again you are taking this variable, and you are doing what? You are doing a kind of what? Manipulation. What kind of manipulation that you are doing? Okay, in our example, you want to concat z. You want to concat what? Z. Okay, this variable, this AAA is getting concatenated, right? AAA z, and this value is getting printed in the console. This value is getting printed in the console. Okay, again you are moving this, right? And again you are extracting this value BBB, right? And you are replacing this AAA with BBB, the cot variable. Okay? And again you are taking this for the manipulation, right? What kind of manipulation that you are doing here? Right, concat BBB dot z. BBB z. And again after performing this, you are printing in the console. And again what you are doing? CCC, right? What you are fetching? This one. And after fetching, what you are doing? Okay, you are saving it in the temporary variable, which is by the name of cot, right? And after doing this, okay, you are doing the manipulation, right? CCC, right? A kind of manipulation, okay, where you are concatenating, or you are doing the concatenation. CCC z. Right? This CCC z will be displayed on the console. Right, last variable is the DDD. Same thing will happen for DDD also. So DDD z will be displayed in the console. Again, last the statement was like what I was trying to print in the last line. Again, I am trying to print the names. So the original names are there, no? The original name is already there. So it is going to print these names only: ABA, BBB, CCC, and DDD. You think would there be any changes in printing this here? We are not changing anything here. Okay, we are catching that. And we are using a what? We are using a kind of temporary variable called cot, and you are storing it here temporarily, and you are doing the manipulation. After doing the manipulation, you are doing a kind of concatenation, and you are displaying it the console. Okay, when you try to print the names, and again it is going to print what? All these values will be printed in the console, right? AA, BBB, CCC, DDD. That is what happened, right? First original thing. Then we are retrieving that each and every independent value, and we are doing a kind of manipulation. Then again we are printing it. Original values are there, right? It is not getting modified. Actually, the modification is happening outside this particular memory space, isn't it? Are you getting this, guys? Everyone? Any difficulties there? Can I tell you something? Okay, if you keep practicing every day, These things are very easy. You can even you can you can what you can become a professor kind of thing, right? Any questions for this? Okay, try to practice these things once again. Okay, tomorrow